up, everybody? The LU's in the chat. LU in the chat. Let's go. Hey, we appreciate everybody and their patience as we jam to that telephone music right there, you know, because it just sounds. Y'all ever been on the phone where they put you on hold and he just, you know, you start dancing just for the music that got you. But hey, I want to see more LUs in the chat. Let's go. I see somebody put the MD already, so they already represent me right now. Hey, nice. Listen. We got another episode of Level Up Legends, and this time is from Apple Engineer Special Projects to Senior DevOps Engineer. We got another Level Up Legend in the building, y'all. So I want to introduce you to this guy who just came in and just killed his goals. He knew exactly what he wanted. He knew exactly how to get it, right? He followed the instruction, and he did all the work. And now he's landed a huge role where he is consistently trying to give back as well. He's always in the channels. He's always talking to folks and everything, right? So I want y'all to put the MDs in the chat right now. I want to see the MDs in the chat for my man, Matt Dixon. What's up, Matt?
Oh, hey, how's it going, brothers? Thanks for having me. Just pleased to be here and kind of share my story. So.
Yeah, and really, hopefully that your story will ignite some fires, help people keep the fire going. If you're just like Matt, where you might have some tech experience and you've been doing this thing for a while, his story is amazing, and maybe that'll help you light the fire under yourself to do with some things that you already know you need to be doing to be going to the next level, right? Because that's what it's all about. We all want to go to the next level. We all possibly need that help. And we all want to be successful. So, hey, look, we're just going to give them the meat and potatoes. We're going to go dive in straight into the questions, if you don't mind, Matt. So,
sure, not at all.
So what motivated you to join our program? And how did you first hear about Level Up and Tech?
I guess the motivation has been, you know, I've heard about DevOps for several years now. And probably the first time I heard about it was in 2016, maybe 2017 at Cisco Live, and they kind of had their whole DevNet program and were putting together kind of a DevNet. It was more of a kind of code sharing and thing back then, but they've since kind of put together a real, you know, program and certification tracked around it. And I always found it interesting, but it also seemed like really confusing, and there wasn't really a path to follow back then, and it was kind of just do your own thing. And I started seeing a lot of people, even some of your videos brought us, like just posted on LinkedIn, probably saw them over 2021 and more so in 2022. And I watched one of your videos last summer, and I just was like, I want to do that. I want to get into that, and signed up. I think I even commented on one of the videos and said level up, and Broadus messaged me, and I had a call with Kelly Carter, and she told me all about the program and just that it was kind of, you know, set up and there was rails around it, and just every week was scheduled. And as soon as I talked to her, I knew that was exactly what I wanted to do, and made the decision pretty much on that phone call that I was going to join the program.
Man, that's awesome. And And so let me ask you this too, being that you was in Cisco too in DevNet space, um, I'm pretty sure you probably seen my boy Dewan Lightfoot around.
Oh yes,
Yeah, right. So
love Duan.
so I definitely appreciate you just taking the initiative, man, because the whole time for the videos too, right? What I was doing 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, and still today, it was just more like I'm in cloud and I built this business with my team and I'm no one special, right? Anyone can do this. And it's not even just
Sure.
about landing a high paying role in cloud. It's just about, hey, it doesn't have to stop at a job, right? It can be an
Right.
opportunity that you see that you can solve problems and you can create the next big thing to change the world, period. Right. And I'm so glad that you commented and really just had the conversation because, from there, look where you are now. You're taking the initiative and always taking the initiative to better yourself. And you did the work, brother. So I know we talk about, from Apple engineer, but really tell us more about what was your background before you joined the program.
I was working for a company called AMX. We got bought out and acquired by Harman, and was kind of in a direct to client support role, supporting them and uh, control system products, and everything was done over IP. So my kind of career was just moving more into the networking space, and I just saw that I'm going to need to get a deeper dive on networking. And it was probably 2012 that I decided to go get the CCNA. So I did that, studied, and that was kind of an interesting story in and of itself, because once I decide I'm going to do something, I just go like full in, and I'm not going to stop till I achieve my goal. So I did that. Like, even I think the exam was ending, and I got with some guys that wanted to just like go deep and study for 4 weeks. I think we had 4 weeks before the exam was going to cut off and be refreshed. So it was kind of just like, why not? Let's see if we can do it. And, we met every Saturday to kind of go over, probably for 8 hours at someone's office. I think it was over at T-Mobile at the time. So did that. The exam there was a composite exam back then, as well as you could either do it in, 2 parts. And I took the composite exam and failed it. I think that was on a Saturday, and their policy at the time was, you can't retake the exam unless it's been, within 5 calendar business days or something like that. But there was still the 2 exam component that I could do. So that was on a Saturday. Went home a little bit, disappointed that I didn't pass. So I just studied the rest of the weekend and scheduled an exam for the first half of the exam on Monday. Went in and just crushed it. And the proctor was like, well, you did really well on that one. Would you like to, go for the second one? And I was, yeah, I think I would. So I went for it, and, I failed that one too. And, obviously, 18 hours over the weekend isn't enough to study and acquire all that knowledge and whatnot. So I just went and failed that one, but I was like, hey, at least I got halfway there. And I just studied for the refreshed version and took like a little bit more time just to commit the information to memory better, and went in and just crushed that exam. I think I had like a 940 out of 1,000 on that one. So I was pretty proud of that. And, I just kind of kept going because we were having to do some security audits. So I did CCNA security primarily just to get, knowledgeable and versed in security and cybersecurity. And it turned out that I really enjoyed it and liked it. So I've kind of just kept on that development path and just trying to find, really the niche that I like, and cybersecurity, and then later DevOps became, an interest as I saw more stuff moving to the cloud. And that's kind of when I joined Level Up in Tech. But, self-study is a bit of a difficult thing. I mean, because you have things in life that come up, and, anything and everything can, derail your schedule. So that's kind of what attracted me to Level Up. It was like, well, it's a 24-week program. I'm going to have skin in the game, and I'm going to have to say no to a lot of things, for 6 months. And it wound up being 8 months for me because I didn't say no to enough things. So, but it's all good because I still finished and am where I am today.
Yeah, still successful. So think about it like this, right? Because I want y'all to get this message where he failed, right? And he probably thought to himself, "Oh man, is this right for me?" But he went back and got more involved in deep diving and passed the first one, or passed the second exam of, and then he took another one and failed again. But he kept going, right? And a lot of you right now that's out here just trying to figure it out and running into roadblocks, you're asking yourself now, are you good enough? And I'm telling you that you're good enough. And another thing I want to really pound on is, one thing that hit me was you said you had to say no to a lot of things for 6 months, right? That is
Exactly.
the key. You want to move to the next level. The key is you can't change, your life. I mean, you can't change the program or any program to fit your life. You have to change your life to fit the program, right? So, because
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, if you're going out every weekend, you're having downtime in the evening watching TV, and you want to fit your study or your plan for success around that, that's not going to happen, because you got to be dedicated and consistent with working to see your plan through. And the whole thing is about changing yourself, changing your work ethic, because if you don't, you're never going to be successful. You got to think about it like this. How can you go somewhere and be something that you've never been, doing the same things you always done? In order to go somewhere and be something that you've never been, you have to be willing to do things that you've never done. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
So that's what it's all about. And I want to really drive that home for people who are looking at this right now, who really need to hear that. You have to change your life to fit wherever you're going. You want to be a cloud engineer, you have to start acting like one, right? I know you might be a waiter, waitress, or mechanic or whatever in the daytime, but when you're trying to transition, even when you work in that mechanic job, your mind needs to be on cloud, your mind needs to be on networking, or your mind needs to be on whatever type of role you're trying to get, and you need to become that right now. You need to act as if. So when you get off, you need to put in that work. It's only temporary suffering for a lifetime of gain and opportunities. Because now that people,
Absolutely.
you move into this role and you've been successful, even though you already had tech experience, but you moved into a DevOps role. This is the first. It's only up for you right now. It's only
Yeah.
up. So if you're ready to go all the way up, put the diamonds. I want to put the gems in the chat right now. I want to see people who are motivated to go all the way up right now. So let me ask you this question. What challenges did you face before joining, and how were you able to overcome them while in Level Up in Tech?
Well, I'll say first off, part of what attracted me to the Level Up in Tech program is I am pretty big into personal development, and it's probably been 10 years ago I read a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And the basic premise of the book is that you can make a series of seemingly inconsequential decisions over time, and they compound and add up and produce, huge results into the future. And your video had some personal development aspect to it. So it was immediately, something that I resonated with, and just found common ground with you on that, and just wanted to get in. And once I did, I mentioned, not saying no to enough things. Once I got into the program, I had a, consulting engagement come up, and I was working my day job, 8 to 5, and then doing this consulting engagement, after hours and on the weekends. And, I guess I kind of underestimated how much time would be required. And so it did put me behind a bit. It was getting to the point where I was starting to fall behind, and I'm like, man, I can't do this. This is not, failure is just not an option for me. And I just started, working late into the night. Like sometimes, I'd be going to bed at 2, 3, and 4 o'clock in the morning, and getting up and going to work the next day, and then just trying to catch up on sleep on the weekends, and which I don't recommend at all.
No.
Yeah. I don't recommend that, but because I'm just a tenacious person, once I get a grip on something, I'm just not letting it go. And it's something I wanted to see through to the finish, just to accomplish it and learn, and, see where it would take me on the next step. And it mainly comes down to just having grit and embracing the suck, as they say, because there's times that things are going to come up in life, and there's times, you just can't control what happens and comes up. I had my laptop failed in the middle of it, and, I got COVID shortly after that. And it was just, setback. People might see it as a setback, but, I just saw it as a bit of adversity. And, all I focused on was the week at hand and what I had to accomplish that week. And I never really, if you look at the whole Mount Everest mountain, you're probably going to get a little intimidated by it. And, I never looked at how much there was to go. I just kept going, kept grinding, kept putting in the hours, staying up late, losing sleep. And I knew it would be temporary, but I knew the learning outcomes would be, pay dividends for a lifetime. So that's kind of how I overcame some of those pitfalls and setbacks and adversity.
So through grit and determination and consistency. So that's the thing. We're all going to have things come up in life, especially when, I always say this, especially when you're going out for something that you know in your heart that you're supposed to have, right? There's just things in life where I feel like, the enemy is going to bring up things in life to take you off track, right? It could be things that you like.
Absolutely.
It could be friends that come into town, or it could be something that's detrimental where, you might, knock on wood, you may face a loss, right? But it's things that throw you off track, because where you're going is where you're supposed to be. And that's where you're going to blossom in life. And that's your purpose. So for those of you who looking at this, right, 6 months may seem like a long time, but it flies by, right? And what you have to do now is, regardless of anything you want to do in this industry, whether you're trying to get a certification, you're going through a learning path, you're going through a program, you're self-studying, whatever you're doing, you have to get yourself in order right now and say, look, this is what I'm going to dedicate to this. And you can't let it go until it's done. Because when it's done, you're going to see the success, and you're going to see a lot of people that said they was going to do it just like you, but didn't. And it's gonna, because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? So
Exactly.
understand that, right? It's tech is not just about learning the tech. Actually, it's all about getting out of your mindset and changing your life, changing the way you think, changing your habits to be able to do this consistently every day. This is where the experience come from, doing it every day. It don't come from you learning it one time and be like, oh yeah, I got it, I know it. No, that's academics, right? It comes from doing it every single day until preparation meets opportunity. And then when you meet the opportunity, hey, sometimes it don't work out because we all go through a phase where when we going for that job, we think every job we're applying for is the right job for us. And unfortunately, that's not right. You're gonna have some jobs that's gonna tell you no, but that's because if it isn't the thing, it's the thing that's gonna lead you to the thing. So you just got to look at learning opportunities or just opportunities that probably wasn't good for you in the first place and keep going. And I hope this message reaches someone out there right now that's feeling just like that. All right. So Matt, what advice would you give to prospective what let me start over. What advice would
Yeah,
you
no
give
problem.
current level up in tech guests who really aspire to land a job in the industry?
I would say just keep documenting your learning process. You'll think that nobody sees it when you post on LinkedIn, and
Mm.
that's just, not the case. And even talk about, when you've had failures. Like I remember, completely blowing up my AWS environment and having to redo my whole project. And I was just like, oh man, it's like I've already been on it for quite a while, and I'd have to go back and see where the disconnect was. And I think just being open and honest about your learning, shows that you're out there, you're trying, because there's a lot of people that don't, and just I would say documenting that learning process and just networking with people. Um, I network a lot on LinkedIn, and I have people that message me about, one was on Cisco's DevNet program, and it's great to be able to kind of give back to other people and just either steer them in a direction or give them advice that would help them out in their own personal learning journey of development and learning and acquiring new skills. So that's probably what I would sum it up as initially.
So one common theme that we see across everyone that we interview as far as level up legends, right, is showcasing your work. That's the common theme, right? Showcasing
Absolutely.
your work, whether it's perfect or not, because y'all got to understand done is better than perfect. And sometimes if you can't get it done, you can ask for help and say, this is what I've been working on. Because think about it like this. While you're working on something and you think it could be basic and you're failing and you don't understand how to move forward because something is not working, while you think that's, oh, they're going to think I'm so dumb. They're going to think I don't know this. You could ask a question on LinkedIn and talk about the project you've been working on and showcase it and say, this is where I'm stuck. And it could be somebody that's been in the industry for years and say, hold on, Matt's working on that? Wow, I
Yeah.
was just thinking about working on that. And he has a project that he just showcased that he's working on. I would love to see how I can help him figure it out. That's networking and showcasing your work in the same volume. And what can happen is you build a great relationship out of that that can help you land a job. We got to get out of our bubble, right? We have to get out of our
Absolutely.
comfort zone. The success is outside of your comfort zone. If you're too scared to post your work, you're too scared to talk to people, you're never going to have opportunities. How you think people are going to discover you? One day they just lift up the rock, like, oh, there you go. Hey, no, that's not how it's going to work. You got to get out there, showcase your business because you are a business looking to sell your services to clients. How are you going to market yourself? How are you going to get these companies to say, I want to work with you? That's the common theme you're going to see across this, is showcase your work. All right. So last question I got for you, Matt, is what do you think is the most important part of your success to help you land a role?
I think I would, go back to documenting and talking about your work on LinkedIn. And that's actually what wound up helping me get my current role. My boss now had seen, some of my stuff, and he had messaged me back in December or January and wanted to talk to me about coming to work for him on his team. And I was like, man, that's really cool. But like, I'm so in the middle of just the grind right now. I had to, just message him and say, I'm very interested in talking with you. Is it okay if we, reconnect around April timeframe or so? And he was like, yeah, sure. And gave me his personal cell phone number, which I thought was really cool. And now I get to work for him on his team, and the whole team is just awesome. And I'm just grateful to be there and working with such awesome and amazing people that are just welcoming, and everybody wants to learn and go forward together. So it's just a great feeling to be a part of a team like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
man.
Again, it just comes back to that networking aspect and talking to people, and even just getting involved in, industry conversations around DevOps. Because the more you just read, I'd highly recommend, subscribing to some, DevOps news aggregators, because the more you read, the more that you're going to learn and be able to translate that into actionable business outcomes.
That's funny, because that's what I say all the time too. Make sure you read, right? Just digest it. Understand how it's impacting businesses. If you understand it, how it's impacting the organization that you want to work for, what your job entails, how is that impactful, then you can understand your worth to it as well, right? And one thing that you're going to find is, once again, if you're not out there showing how you can solve problems, then nobody's going to believe that you can solve problems, right? Think about it. Once again, I'm going to bring this music scenario back, then I'm going to let y'all go. Think about it from the music standpoint. Back in the day in the music industry, thousands, even millions of people used to send demos straight to companies, right? Just like you sending resumes. And sometimes, they'll pick out a good demo. I'm like, oh, this person, we want to talk to them. But the people who get the better deals are the people who go out here and make themselves hot and showcase their work and get found, right? So you're showcasing your work, you're showing what you can do, even tagging. Let's say you could just tag companies or tag recruiters. They may not say nothing, right? You may say, oh, that person didn't respond or comment. They may not say nothing for 5 months. Month 6, they're like, listen, we wait for you to graduate. Or they say, hey, we was waiting for the time where we had a role to come up that we wanted to talk to you about. And now the role has come up. This came on my desk. I want to talk to you about it. That's how you're going to be successful. You can't be successful sitting on the porch. You got to jump off the porch, and you got to start walking down the street, networking with folks and saying, this is me. This is what I can do. This is what I'm doing now. Outside of the bubble, outside of the comfort zone is where you're going to find it. Okay. So with that being said, right, I want to help any one of you who wants to take that next step into the cloud journey. Period. If you have an interest, if you say, I'm ready to work, I'm ready to put in the grind, I'm ready to do something that's not easy, to be able to get paid a great salary and just start from there and it keeps going up, I want to talk to you. So for those of you who are interested in talking to us about helping you reach that next level, put July in the chat right now for special promotion for Level Up the Tech. I want to see July. If you are that person that you say, look, I've been trying this, I've been listening to people. And let me take this too. People are going to tell you things are impossible. People are going to tell you that you can't go from this to cloud engineering, you got to do this first. People are going to tell you that, oh, there's no way you can do this in a certain amount of time. It took me 5 years. People are going to tell you all types of stuff. You just need to focus on your journey, right? The best way you can pick a program is by the program's results. If the program's not putting out results or people are not achieving their goals with the program, then there may not be a program for you. But if your program has results, it has a catered curriculum for you to follow, and it's pushing you to do the hard work, right? It's pushing you to change your mindset, change the way you solve problems, change you. That's the type of program that you want. And also, Mel's in the background. Shout out to Mel. Put the link up where they can find Matt right now on LinkedIn. You take this LinkedIn. Is this right? I'm pretty sure this is right. LinkedIn.com/n/network. Make sure you get Matt's, I'm about to call him Nat. Get Matt's LinkedIn link. Connect with him. Ask questions. Tell him how his story is so inspiring. And just build that bridge, right? This would be the first start. If you're scared of talking to people, talk to Matt first. Make that first impression. Just have that conversation. And we're so glad to hear your story. We're so glad that you chose us and seen the vision and what we can do to help you in your career, brother. And we're so glad that you landed that senior DevOps role, man. And it's amazing. And I know it's only up because, you're a leader, and I can see leadership role in you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And just to give a little backstory real quick on the Networked moniker, I wanted something quick and easy, and it sort of became a bit of a joke of network address translation, and it actually worked. So it's a play on networked, but networked. But I just want to thank you for putting together the program, and thank you for just all the inspiration that you give to others. And thank you so much for having me on the show tonight.
Man, thank you. I want to give a thanks really because a lot of y'all see me, right? But what you don't see is the amazing team that we have, right? The coaches, Mel, the program specialists, marketing, everybody that helps this ship run and be able to deliver an experience to the guests that come in so they can be successful. So I want to personally thank my team, everybody on the Level Up in Tech team. I personally want to thank Mel. Mel, you want to come up front real quick? Mel always come up for like a second or so. Come on, Mel. There you go, Mel. Say what's up. See, she always come, she always come up for the, a second. And, I want to thank y'all for just coming in and listening to the stories and really, getting this information soaked in your brain to take you to the next level. If you want to join the community, join our community, facebook.com/groups/level up in tech. I put out content every day. I want to just help you be successful, even on your own terms. And I just appreciate y'all. If this was valuable, if y'all had some gems, if y'all received some gems from this talk, put the gems in the comments right now. I want to just make sure this was valuable for y'all. Matt has an amazing story, and it was just wonderful to hear it and wonderful to share. And I hope this inspires somebody who's ready to take it. If it just helps one person, inspires one person, that's all we need to take to the next level, and we've done our job. So put the gems in the chat if this was very valuable. I hope to see y'all in the next one, and I appreciate y'all time, even though we went over a little bit. But my name is Broadus. This is Matt Dixon. Y'all gonna keep leveling up in tech, and we see y'all on the next Level Up Legends show. All right, see y'all later.